This was referred by its creator as contrology. The method came to him when he was being held at the Noccolo internment camp in the Isle of Man during World War One and worked with his fellow internees to develop a system of exercises. What am I talking about? Let me repeat the question. This was referred to by its creator as contrology. The method came to him when he was being held at the Noccolo internment camp on the Isle of Man during World War One, and he worked with his fellow internees to develop a system of exercises. What am I talking about? This is the audience question for today's episode. Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? And this is episode number 121.
Cue the music.
Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing.
Welcome back, everybody. You've already heard the audience question. We'll answer the question at the end of today's episode. But for now, let's have the regular round of quizzing. And in this episode, it's Aditya's turn to start. So, Adi, hit us with your best shot.
I love doing questions which have lists in them.
I hate you.
But you're going to love this question. Actually, I don't know. Maybe you won't. Who knows? At this point, we are 121 episodes in. At this point, I'm going to just take your opinions for granted and treat this like a bad relationship where I'm just going to push my will. All right, Vineet, now you better answer my question. No, I'm kidding. I care for you and your opinions.
You're so politically correct.
Yeah, I can't sustain that bratty nature for too long.
Okay, hit me.
I need to give a disclaimer to start us off that this particular question doesn't have a very solid base in terms of factual accuracy. I actually found it only on one place, and then there are varied accounts, but nothing very concrete. Pun intended. And you'll figure out why.
Okay.
Tell me, what is this a list of? At number 1, we have Russia. At number 2, we have Germany. Number 3, the United States of America. Number 4 is Spain. Number 5 is France. Number 6, Canada. And at number 7, we have Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what is this a list of?
Brutalist architecture?
Well, I think because of the concrete hint, you were thinking of brutalist architecture.
Yeah, obviously.
Isn't anything to do with brutalist architecture, but yes, concrete buildings. That's the direction you should be thinking in.
So Russia is at number 1.
Sure.
Go through the list again. I have the memory of a goldfish.
Russia, Germany, United States of America, Spain, France, Canada, and last one I mentioned was Brazil. This is not an exhaustive list. It would keep going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you the top 7.
So this is a ranking of some sort.
Yeah.
So Russia has the most of something.
Russia is the highest on the list, and then we progressively go down.
The US is the third highest in Vagera.
Correct.
Okay. Because you said concrete, I don't know, concrete buildings, concrete roads, concrete statues.
I would imagine China is probably the highest in number of probably both buildings and roads, if I'm not wrong. Statues, maybe, I don't know. But I don't know how many concrete statues exist in the world.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I said, buildings is where you should be thinking. Literally physical building. Not a road, not a statue.
Buildings without windows.
Yes, building and windows and doors and roofs.
No, I thought, okay, the answer was going to be buildings without windows.
Oh.
Because Russia is famous for, Lubyanka prison, which apparently does not have any windows. And I don't know, I've never actually seen the place.
I mean, Hong Kong has some heavy occupancy of houses, which are, I think there's a specific word for them, something close to like a bird cage, which are extremely tiny. A lot of them windowless also.
Oh.
Because of the real estate costs in Hong Kong. So I don't know if China as a whole would count in it, but Hong Kong definitely is pretty high on that list of what you said. But no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. In fact, in this case, lots of windows. Lots of windows, potentially a fair bit of doors.
Mm-hmm.
Nice windows, nice doors, actually, I'd say.
Don't tell me this is like number of skyscrapers or something. I don't think Russia has that many skyscrapers.
Yeah, no, I think US would probably be number 2 in number of skyscrapers and China would be number 1. So it's not skyscrapers.
Nope, I need a clue.
To each of these rankings, there is a number attached to it. There's a value attached to it. An evaluation. Sorry, that is the word I was looking for. There is an evaluation attached to each of these rankings.
This can't be number of buildings bombed or destroyed by bombings or something like that, right? No.
No.
Concrete. I don't know, man. This is, I'm completely blanking on this.
Okay. So here's a hint. Based off of some decisions that were made by the Trump administration in this year, US potentially might move up in the list.
Is this the number of Trump towers?
No, if I'm not wrong, I think Trump is probably building more Trump towers outside of the US than inside US.
Yeah.
I actually recently crossed a Trump tower in Mumbai. I mean, I always knew there was one. I saw it recently. As a lot of things that the Trump administration does, there was a lot of backlash. In this case, actually, I don't know if that's too much of a hint because that's pretty much everything that Trump does. There was a lot of backlash. People are saying that this is probably not legal. This is destroying American culture, heritage, values.
This is everything that Trump has done since the day he took office. You will have to be a little more specific than that.
I just realized going through that hint that is a very useless hint. Everything Trump does.
Is this tariff related?
No, it isn't tariff related. In fact, Trump's actions are potentially aesthetic related more than anything else.
Oh, is this the size of the presidential palace or something like this?
All right, I'll give it to you. It is the evaluation of the official residence of the world leader from these countries.
Okay.
While, of course, this is fun in and of itself. And like I mentioned, there's not too much of a concrete basis to this because most of these places are not really being evaluated in any real way and effectively are probably priceless because it's not like somebody selling White House tomorrow on the market. Here's what loveproperty.com has estimated. So take any of the issues you will have up with them. Russia, Vladimir Putin, the current world leader, lives in the Grand Kremlin Place.
Yeah.
$3.1 billion is the market evaluation by this particular website. And it's also staggering the change at which this happens. Okay, so we're at $3.1 billion. Next is Germany, which is the Chancellery Extension. This is at a cool $773 million.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
We have come from 3.1 to 773, which is what, like almost like a quarter, right? A fair bit of a drop there.
Yeah.
We go down to America, USA. That is approximately $400 million, $397 million. So White House is evaluated at that.
Yeah, but now with the $300 million ballroom, it will go up, right?
Exactly. That's what I was saying. So it potentially might cross Germany. But then again, I don't know if anybody's officially keeping track. Spain. And by the way, I'm going to put up the pictures in our video podcast, but in case you're listening to us on audio, check out those pictures. These are just beautiful places. Like, say what you will about some of these people who occupy them. The places are just genuinely very beautiful. I understand the trappings of power after I went through this list. Like, if I get to live in this place, I don't know why I would ever want to leave it. I would want to declare myself president for life too. I get it. So Spain is a palace of Moncloa, which is at 150 million. We are next going to France, which is the Elysée Palace, 147 million, pretty close.
Okay.
Canada, which is the Rideau Cottage. I don't know why it's called a cottage. It's anything but a cottage. 51 million. Next is Brazil, which is around 21.5 million. Palacio de Alvorada. And I didn't mention these, but UK, 10 Downing Street, apparently 8.3 million. And the last one, at least given on this website, is Australia, which is called the Lodge at $6.1 million. So all of these were American dollar evaluations.
I would think that the Rashtrapati Bhavan would be quite high on the list.
I did search for it. I think the Rashtrapati Bhavan, whatever estimate I could find, is supposed to be somewhere in the 20 million range. So potentially around Brazil, which is why I stopped at Brazil also.
But I think they're not considering the antiquity value of the building itself.
There is that. I think just the emotional value. I was having this conversation with somebody where they were mentioning like what is the evaluation of Antilla, right? Your Ambani's official residence, or for that matter, any of these iconic places, right? What is the evaluation of Shah Rukh's house, right, at Bandstand? Mannat. Again, I'm sure there is a property value for these places. I'm sure the built structure also has a value. But there is so much more value in the cultural currency of it that I don't think anybody can account for, right? Like if Mannat went on sale today, it would probably be a lot more than what the next door house would go for, right?
Definitely. I understand that, Aditya, but I think you're placing a little too much cultural value on that phallic monstrosity in the Mumbai skyline that you call Antilla.
I disavow everything my podcast partner is saying. I love Ambani's. Mukesh uncle, please give us money. I will wear Geo t-shirt. I will get it tattooed on my head, okay? Just get Geo tattooed right here. Please give us money. Sometimes I love the fact that we are not that popular. We are still relatively unknown.
We are going to get in trouble. If any day we become popular, we are going to get in trouble.
Let's hope we just balance it right there, where we are not popular enough to get in trouble, but popular enough to sustain it.
Yeah, we'll skip.
Well cracked, yes. I think I was just amused at these numbers. Also, the fact that Russia is straight up $3.1 billion and the next highest was like $770 million. Putin, for the first time in my life, I get what you're doing. I get why you just don't want to give up power. It makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
I was watching this video a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
John Oliver was doing a segment about Israel and specifically Netanyahu. So I think his wife, Netanyahu's wife, at some point, she has a colorful personality is how I put it. At least that's how the segment showed it. She has at some point invited a journalist in. And my God, this actually happened. She's invited a journalist in and she's trying to show how humble their house is. And the journalist is straight up ripping into it. Like at some point it feels weird because he's like, why are there marks here? What's up with this curtain? Why is this like broken? And at some point I'm like, is Netanyahu that poor? Like what's happening? And he says this on TV where he's like, oh, what is this? Why is there a weird cupboard here? Is Anne Frank hiding here?
Oh, dude.
And I'm like, I feel very weird about that joke. I get that you are, this is Israel and you're all Jewish. So I guess in that case, it counts as self-deprecating humor. I'm not sure. I'm not Jewish. I can't speak for that, but it felt very weird.
I don't think that can be self-deprecating in any circumstance.
Yeah, I feel like just don't include Anne Frank in your jokes. Just leave that out of your stupid jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so apparently the Israeli Prime Minister's house isn't something to boast of based off of that one video.
I don't think Netanyahu has much to boast about these days. Moving on to something very similar, you gave me a list. Now I'm going to ask you to make a list.
Ooh, nice.
Very simple, straightforward, classic GK general knowledge for those who don't know. GK question.
Mm-hmm.
List the countries that border Spain.
This is one of those like list the countries that border France because these stupid countries have like so many overseas territories.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, let me try. Spain borders Portugal. Spain borders France.
Very good.
Spain on the south has a land border with, I believe, Morocco.
Very, very good.
I think they have one with Algeria also, if I'm not wrong.
No, not Algeria. You've mentioned Portugal, which is correct. You've mentioned Morocco, which is also correct. And you've mentioned one other country, France, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So you're 60% of the way there.
Two more countries. I believe there is that it's this bunch of these small European countries. I keep forgetting where they are exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think it's Luxembourg. I don't think it's Liechtenstein.
You are right. There is a very small country which,
Not Monaco.
not Monaco, it's not Monaco, but there is a very small country which kind of splits the border between Spain and France.
Yeah, I know where it is also. I'm taking a guess. It's either an L country or an M country.
Neither.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, no, you'll have to give me a letter or something. I don't think I'll be able to remember this.
A. The letter would be A.
Andorra.
Very good.
Ah, right.
That's 4 out of 5. So, which is number 5?
It's not an African nation because I know definitely Morocco has a land border that Spain shares.
Not an African nation.
Yeah, because a bunch of the North African nations have like this weird situation where there's a little bit of a European country's land inside.
Yeah.
And then it's somewhere overseas. Spain, potentially, Central America is where I would go. I know France has French Guiana.
Mm-hmm.
No idea. Assuming it has to be Haiti or something like that.
No. Okay, let me tell you this. Right now, as of a few years ago, a couple of years ago or something, you could visit this country on a Schengen visa.
This is
a very complicated way to put this, but let me tell you this, that you could technically visit this country on a Schengen visa since 2020.
You can now still visit it on a Schengen visa.
You weren't able to earlier, but you can now. And this is all technicality, so take it with a bit of salt.
Interesting.
You can, but you can't.
I was going to say something like Gibraltar, the UK.
And you have it. Yes, it is Gibraltar.
But UK, you can't go on Schengen, can you?
You can't go to the UK on a Schengen visa, but you can go to the overseas territory of Gibraltar on a Schengen visa since 2020.
Okay, fine. Got it.
So I found it quite interesting that the UK had a border with Spain, which is the point of the entire question. Spain has borders with Portugal, France, UK, Morocco, and Andorra.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a very quick crack, Aditya. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
You know your geography.
I love going through quizzes where I have to write down which countries were, just to keep me at least a little aware of what's happening in the world.
Nice.
Gibraltar, I remember because of they've done a referendum there, I believe. And I think they overwhelmingly chose to be a part of the UK because I think the choice was between Spain and UK.
Yeah.
Haven't they fought a battle somewhere also? UK and Spain have fought somewhere in South America. I'm forgetting the exact history there.
England and Spain have locked horns many a time.
Yeah, but there was a battle in South America.
Remember the Spanish Armada?
No, I do. There's a South American place which not even that long ago. It's gonna come to me maybe.
I think you're thinking of the Falklands, but that was Argentina.
My bad. You are right. It is. I was thinking Spanish-speaking country, not Spain.
Yeah.
Yes. It's Argentina, the Falkland Islands. I was thinking of Falklands.
Yes.
I like how you read my mind. Very nice. Very nice.
I don't remember the name of the magazine, but after Argentina took over the Falklands, Margaret Thatcher made the very controversial decision that, even though it's such very far away, it's still a British territory, so we're going to get it back. So she sent the British Navy to Argentina, and there was a magazine cover with a couple of destroyers on the cover, British destroyers on the cover. And this you would love. Can you guess what the headline of the magazine was on the cover? So let me give you the context again. This is like a bonus question here. So let me give you the context again. Argentina forcefully annexes the Falklands. Margaret Thatcher and the UK go berserk. And they send a flotilla of ships and the Navy to take back the Falklands from Argentina. To break this news, a magazine, I do not remember which magazine. Obviously, you can search on the internet and find out. But on the magazine cover, there was a picture of a couple of destroyers and a very large headline, which was very apt for this. And it is right up your alley.
Oh, I like it.
Can you guess what the headline was?
I love a punny headline.
Not a punny headline, but it was very apt. It's a pop culture headline, but it was very apt.
Oh, okay.
For the time.
What is the era again?
It was the 80s. I'm going off the top of my head.
Thatcher is 80s, sure.
Yeah, it was the 80s. Thatcher.
80s disco. Oh, I don't know. No idea. Some sort of a action movie reference. Is it Rambo, Rocky, something like that?
It was a movie. It's a movie name reference. Basically, the headline was a movie name.
Buenos Airplane. I don't know.
No, I really want you to get this, so I'm going to give you another clue.
Okay, give it to me.
The movie in question was a very, very successful sequel.
Aliens.
Why would aliens be in the picture?
Oh. Alien invasion.
Very successful.
Jaws 2 was not very successful. Terminator 2.
No, that's a little later. It was 92.
Yeah, that's much later. No, yeah. Star Wars. Star Wars is there. Empire Strikes Back. Oh, The Empire Strikes Back.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, God, of course,
So,
of course.
So Britain's response, the British Empire's response to the Fox and Speen Connect was to send their armed forces to get it back. And the magazine title read, The Empire Strikes Back.
I love that.
Great crack both times. So hit me with your best shot.
You gave me a perfect segue. Since we're talking about the British Empire, I'm going to ask you about a specific incident that happened in 1857 in India. Of course, the Indian Rebellion of 1857. This was, I guess, in some way related to it. Apparently. There isn't, again, in this case, not many concrete proof.
Okay.
The gentleman in question is Mark Thornhill. He was a British district magistrate and collector of the district of Mathura, Uttar Pradesh, and was around when the Indian Rebellion of 1857 happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, history buffs would remember that I think the rebellion started somewhere halfway through the year.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, early 1857, he reported what he thought was an unusual movement of X.
Okay.
X was being distributed across villages and cities, especially in UP and in northern India, happening at an unprecedented rate. Apparently, even faster than British mail was being distributed. So this was kind of a physical object that was spreading across the area, across the land. It was happening overnight.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theories suggest that it was guards and watchmen and police officers who were doing it in the middle of the night, taking it from one place to another, and was spreading across. The reason that potentially there was nothing to it, again, we haven't really found any reason as to why this would have been suspicious, but perhaps why a British person would have found it suspicious was because X is foreign to them. X was a new thing to them. X was not something that they would encounter back in the UK, but you would pretty extensively in India. They also thought X, by its design, could potentially contain secret codes, and that's why it was fomenting rebellion. And Mark Thornhill, in his autobiography, in his works or whatever, in his diaries, has mentioned this at least and brought attention to it. So there is a movement of X, also called the X Rebellion, that happened in 1857 from the British perspective. No Indian account speaks of it or talks of it, at least as a way of rebellion.
Chapati?
What? Huh? Oh man, I was trying to make that very difficult.
I've read this before.
Very nice, yes. So, if you've read it, you'll probably be familiar that the Chapati movement, as it was called, was something the British were terrified of. But in retrospect, most scholars seem to suggest that this was just their paranoia at what was a foreign object to them. Chapati, again, not something very commonly seen, obviously, back in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought that the burned markings that happen on chapati, which is, made on an open flame, they thought that is potentially code. Again, there's not a very specific reason as to why this was happening, though. This was unusual in terms of how it was being spread. Some theories suggest that apparently the British, when they had come, there were also outbreaks of cholera happening. And back then, of course, cholera being a waterborne disease was not something that was very well known. People assumed it could be also foodborne or whatever. So maybe they were distributing their own chapatis from safe sources across the villages as a means to protect against cholera. This is one of the theories. There isn't any concrete theory. Potentially, it was just something that happened off the cuff and had no deeper meaning to it, but apparently it terrified the British at least. And they were scared of why chapatis are moving across northern India.
Sorry if I cracked that a little too quickly, but I
What a
have
flex. What a flex. Sorry if I cracked that too quickly.
no, but I did. As you know, I am something of a history buff. So I do tend to read a little history a little more widely than I do other things. Not to say that I know everything. What I don't know about history could probably fill entire libraries. I happen to know. So the moment you knew it, I was for a second it just slipped my mind what it was, what it was, what it was, and by the end time you finished the question, it just hit me. Oh, this was the chapati moment. Let's move from history in the 19th century
Mhm.
to the 2nd century.
Okay.
By the end of the 2nd century BCE, Indian sailors who were sailing to Indonesia did not sail directly.
Okay.
Instead, they would first gather at Chilika Lake in Odisha.
Hmm.
Then they would travel to Sri Lanka to replenish fresh water.
Okay.
And from there, they would navigate through Sumatra and Java before finally reaching Bali.
Okay.
The return voyage followed a similar path starting roughly 6 months later.
Hmm.
These voyages were not just about trade routes,
Okay.
they also facilitated the exchange of goods and plants. One notable export was a plant from the Piperaceae family, widely used across India today. Interestingly, this plant is now banned in countries like the UAE and Qatar, both of which citing health concerns. So, my question, two-part question. What dictated this indirect maritime route across the Indian Ocean? And which common part of Indian life owes its spread to these ancient sea voyages?
There has been trivia in the past about palm leaf. Are we in that vicinity?
Yes, you are right. So we are talking about pan.
Okay.
And so the band thing is obviously the areca nut.
Hmm.
So then can you tell me what it directed this indirect maritime route?
Is it the shelf life of it was not very long?
No, think more practical sailor kind of reason.
Yeah, I assume because they wanted to consume it and they'll have to replenish the stocks or something like that.
No, not just that. So basically they had a reason for choosing this kind of a route, and that indirectly helped the spread of pan.
Oh, so the reason was not palm leaves; it just helped spread the.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. That is interesting. Why were they going from Chilka Lake to, you said, Sri Lanka? Then they headed to Java.
Yes.
This is the 2nd century BCE.
Yes.
Then it can't be. I was going to say something along the lines of the spread of Buddhism.
No. I said a practical reason. This is very simple, actually. 6 months, because they would go, and then 6 months later they'd come back.
Oh, so something to do with tides and weather, I guess.
Yes. So what could possibly?
The monsoon winds coming in, so they're trying to take the winds to their advantage.
Very good. Yes.
Hmm.
So seasonal monsoon winds and the need for safe harbor and replenishing points was the reason that they went through this kind of indirect route. The widespread use of pan, betel nets, and areca nuts in Indian society, ritual, social later, basically, were imported via ancient sea routes from Southeast Asia. Just to clarify, the plant from the Piperaceae family that was exported is pepper, and areca nut and other things were exported from Indonesia to India, and that's how we have pan and things. So I don't want anybody getting confused. That I think I kind of missed a spot when I asked the question. It's not the plant from the Piperaceae family that's now banned in the UAE and Qatar. Pepper is still available there. It's the import from the Malacca Straits or Indonesia, which is banned there. So I just wanted to clarify that. So that's the question I had, which again, irritatingly, you've cracked very quickly again.
I apologize for cracking it so quickly.
Okay, next one.
So this has to do with etymology, and that is something at least both of us share a love for, unlike lists. Interesting piece of etymology, and the segue here being, you were talking about maritime work, and this is also work which is apparently very difficult. Are you familiar with the town of Dundee in Scotland?
I have heard the name Dundee,
Okay.
mostly in the context of Crocodile Dundee.
Oh.
That's not an ass. Now this is an ass.
Yeah. Dundee also, the Dundee's, the Dunder Mifflin office connection for fans of the show.
Yeah.
Dundee is a small town in Scotland. Here, there were a few things that they were famous for. The 3 J's, as they were called. This was jute, jam, and journalism.
Okay.
But we're talking much earlier. We're talking about like the mid 15th century, apparently, was when the textile trade was kind of picking up, was gaining some momentum in this particular town. There was an activity which had to do with teasing or combing out flax or hemp fibers. This is a very manually intensive job, or at least was a very manually intensive job. It was a difficult job. The people who did it were putting in a lot of hard work. At some point, because these were people who were, giving it a lot of effort, were also very vocal about the fact that they wanted better wages. They were fighting for better conditions, and inspired by that, other workers in the city, not from that industry specifically, but whatever, other jobs as well, were inspired, and they also got political in that way. What was this particular activity called? The teasing or combing out of flax or hemp fibers, which gives the word that we use today used in a political space, as well as another context, but I won't tell you the other context yet.
It's used in the political space and another context, right?
I haven't mentioned the other context yet. Yeah, that'll be my hint.
Okay, so then I think we can rule out filibuster. Because I don't think that has a context outside of the political space.
No.
Gerrymandering?
That is, I think, there's this guy called, I think his name was Gary.
Yeah.
It's spelled G-R-Y, and I don't know why Gary became gerrymandering. There's a funny little etymology there. But he was the first one, apparently, who was trying to gerrymander. Oh, apparently it was like a salamander, which Gary came up with, so they called it gerrymandered district, something like that is the etymology for gerrymandering.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I've heard of that before. Okay. You'll have to give me a clue here.
So I'll actually read what is written on Wikipedia in the context of the word that I'm talking about. So Dundee, where the X being the people who worked in this job, who combed their flax and established a reputation as the most belligerent element in the workforce. In the X factory, one of them, would read out the day's news while the others worked to the accompaniment of interruptions and furious debate. So it eventually just became a very, I guess, politically driven job, even though, like I mentioned, it was a textile industry job. It had to do with teasing or combing out flax or hemp fibers. So it had nothing inherently political about it, but it was a difficult job. And presumably that's what led to this kind of an attitude brewing in the workspace over there.
I'm blanking completely. I have no idea what this is.
This is where I give you the second context. So I mentioned that political context is how perhaps that word X is used today. The other way that it is used is in the comedy space. So which is why it is something that I have experienced myself. It is something that I've seen in front of me.
Heckling.
Yes, it is heckling.
Okay.
The word heckling comes from the word heckle, which means to tease or comb out flax or hemp fibers. The hecklers were the ones who used to do that tough job and eventually became loud and belligerent in the way they demanded things. They would be political, they would be making their voice heard. And that's where the political meaning came. Eventually that meaning also transferred over to the comedy space specifically, where a stand-up comic, in case somebody doesn't know, when a stand-up comic is performing and somebody from the audience interrupts them without any sort of invitation to talk.
Oh.
Considered rude in most scenarios. I remember there are some stand-up comics who invite heckles, in which case I guess it's not heckling, that's a voluntary interaction.
I think Jimmy Carr is one of those.
Famously Jimmy Carr, and he'll have some sort of insult, comedic insult loaded to go. I think somebody said, when is the comedy going to start? And Jimmy Carr is like, you know what, I'm going to take this moment to say something important. That not everything is meant for everyone. That sometimes what one person finds funny is not funny to another person. So I'm sorry that you've come here and that you feel like you have not seen anything funny yet, that no comedy has met your standards. And perhaps this is another way we learn that life is unfair. And life is unfair in so many ways, right? Like when a man, he sleeps with a lot of women, that guy is considered a stud. But when a woman sleeps with a lot of men, that woman is your mom. That's his comeback. Jimmy Carr. Yes. So coming back to heckling. Yes, heckling comes from this particular industry, from the textile industry, where apparently making cloth was that difficult that they... And again, hemp and flax is not the easiest material to work with. So that's probably the reason why.
Okay, so that's a very, very good question. I have another question, which is also towards the etymology of something, maybe, maybe not. Let's see if you can figure this out.
Let's go.
Towards the year 1996,
Mm-hmm.
an actor X visited this Hotel Y that is popularly known for hosting the then Queen of England during her visit to India.
Okay.
When he went there, he wanted to have a dish, but he was concerned due to his health issues. So the chef, apparently, there are multiple versions of the story. So apparently the chef infused some mutton rogan josh to the dish that he wanted, and eventually ended up inventing a whole new variation of the dish that the actor had wanted. And this particular variation is also considered to be the most costliest of the city. So my question is, who's the actor? And if you can tell me the name of the hotel, very good. Or I'll probably give it to you as a clue.
Okay.
Props to Roshni, who sent us this question. It was part of my arsenal, but I want to give due credit to her.
Okay.
So you want me to summarize the question again? An actor came in to a restaurant that's very famous for hosting the Queen. He went there, he ordered the dish B. Due to health reasons or for it not being there, not sure, but the chef infused some mutton rogan josh and ended up with something else, and ended up creating a whole new variation of the dish that the actor had ordered. Currently now this new variation of the dish is very famous and is also considered to be the most costliest of that particular type of dish found in the city. Very, very vague, but see if you can crack it.
1996 actor. I don't think you mentioned Hollywood or an Indian actor specifically.
It's an Indian actor, I'll give you that.
Oh, okay.
It's an Indian actor.
Because the health and all made me think it's somebody from outside of India would be concerned.
The question that Roshni sent mentions his health. From what I understand, it wasn't particularly available, or there wasn't enough of it. So it's one of those legends that's similar to the origin of, like butter chicken or something like that. And that the chef infused mutton rogan josh and created this.
Mm-hmm.
It may either have been due to a health issue, or it may have been that it was not there. We don't know exactly. But anyway, the chef infused mutton rogan josh and to something else, and then created a whole new variation of the dish that the actor wanted to order.
And you also mentioned it's the costliest. I want to say then it is some sort of like a goat or lamb curry. Usually that's the more expensive.
I would hold off on that theory, but chalo.
Okay, then not a goat or lamb dish. Ooh, mutton rogan josh, health, or maybe not even health, but whatever. Some need to come up with something on the fly makes me think maybe it could be a biryani thing, knowing your love for biryani.
Yes, so you know that I have a weakness for biryani. And this is one of those unique biryanis because it was made by infusing mutton rogan josh to rice. And this basically created a whole new variation of biryani, and it's considered to be the costliest in the city. Now, again, you have to figure out who the actor is. Props if you can tell me the hotel, or if you can at least give me the city.
Some sort of a biryani. Again, biryani is perhaps the dish that you can find in every part of India, or at least some version of biryani.
Yes.
Not very helpful. Doesn't help me narrow it down. I'm going to take a stab and say this is South India.
Mm-hmm.
But Hyderabadi biryani probably is older than this.
Oh, yeah.
Paradise biryani.
No. Sacrilege, my boy.
I'm sorry. I've been to Paradise biryani, and anybody who thinks Paradise biryani is great needs to get their taste buds checked, okay? Paradise biryani sucks. unpopular opinion right here.
No, Paradise is overrated. I will give you that. There are much better places which serve much better biryanis.
I was in Hyderabad for a whole summer. I held off on going to Paradise because I knew my parents were going to visit at some point. When they did, I was like, oh, you know what? Let's go have biryani at the best possible place in Hyderabad. My lord, we left food, and I'm not somebody who leaves food on my plate. I hate doing it. I remember leaving like a little bit on my plate. It was just that below average. Sorry, rant, because anybody who says that they go to Hyderabad and are planning to try Paradise, I warn them very strongly.
And you'd probably get better biryanis in some of the smaller places around Charminar.
Yes, I have had those and those are so good.
They're very good.
Hyderabadi biryani is amazing.
The kachi biryani specifically.
Okay, anyways. Let's come back to the question and my rant aside. Southern India, my god, I don't know too many of the biryanis that are available. Is there a Chettinad biryani? Sounds like there should be something like a Chettinad biryani.
No, there is a Chettinad version of a biryani. It's not a classical one. So there are a lot of biryanis which have now come out because in the past, since 1990, which are considered or at least I consider them among the nouveau set of biryanis, like, MLA Potlam biryani and this particular kind of biryani and all, which are newer inversions and inventions on the traditional biryani. This is again something you know or you don't know. So let's just see if you can get it if I give you the city. Maybe you've heard of it. If you've not heard of it, I will lead you to the answer. So the city is Chennai.
That's why I also went Chettinad. I was thinking somewhere in Tamil Nadu. Chennai.
Okay, can you guess the actor?
Rajnikant.
Very good. It is Rajnikant.
Oh, God. I thought I was going to sound like a loser who just knows one name.
No. It is Rajnikant.
Okay.
I'll also give you the name of the hotel. He went to the Taj Coromandel.
Okay.
He wanted a biryani, but apparently he wanted a lighter version of it. Or he ordered a biryani and it was not available. Or anyway, for some reason, the chef decided to make one by infusing some rice with mutton Rogan Josh to create a slightly lighter version of a biryani. Now, what's the name of the biryani? Right. Now, this is where I'll lead you to the answer.
Please do.
I've had people tell this to me that they think that the name of this biryani comes from a movie from the 2000s, which is weird because that movie came out much later than this. And that's a Vijay movie.
Oh.
Technically, it's not. Okay. That name is not because of the movie, even though it shares the same name. It's actually a corruption of the description of the biryani from, I guess the chef was North Indian because the description of the biryani comes in Hindi and that got corrupted to sound like the name of a very famous Tamil movie. And so now people call it that name. Now, I know this is going to be very tough one for you or any listener who's not obsessed with biryani like I am.
Got it.
Imagine you take some rice and you overload it with a curry, like Rogan Josh. What happens to it? What happens to that rice? What happens to the whole dish? What is its consistency?
It's semi-solid, I guess. Pasty.
More. Is it moist or?
Okay, moist. Yeah. Damp, moist, whatever.
Yes, slightly wet, right? Moist. It's a very moist biryani. It's more moist than sour.
We are pissing a lot of people off right now. We are really pissing some people off right now.
Yeah. Let's say wet. I think that might be better. Wet biryani. Now, if you're a North Indian chef, what would you call it?
Gili.
Very good.
Okay. Is that a Gili biryani? Is that what it's called?
Yes, it was originally called the Gili biryani, but it came to be known as the Gilli biryani. There is a movie by the name of Gilli. Now it's called the Gilli biryani and it's one of the most expensive biryanis. Okay. Roshni claims it's the most expensive in the city. I'm going to take her word for it. The last time I went, I think it was around 1,300 something plus tax or something like that for a plate of biryani.
That's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, it is expensive, but considering it's a Taj, I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Taj is probably standard rate for Taj, yeah.
Yeah. So it's the Gilli biryani. So let's put all of it together so that it finally makes some sense.
Please.
1996, Rajnikant visits the Taj Coromandel. Taj Coromandel was famous for hosting the Queen of England at one point. When he went there, he asked for a biryani, but he wanted it to be slightly lighter, or maybe there wasn't enough biryani. We don't know. Either way, the chef decides to infuse some seasoned rice with mutton Rogan Josh and creates a whole new variation of biryani, which he frankly calls Gili biryani. It comes to be known as Gilli biryani. And it's one of the costliest biryanis that you can find in the city of Chennai. So I want to thank Roshni who sent in this question. If you want your questions asked on the show, please send them to us on areyouquizzingme@gmail.com. Just make sure to put the name of the quizmaster in the subject line, and we will ask the question. So thank you, Roshni.
Brilliant. I love it. This is going to be a random tangent, and I don't know what purpose it serves, but you said that there are these people who are coming up with new biryanis and perhaps inspired by the idea that biryani is very ubiquitous across the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if there is, and you are the biryani expert, is there a biryani which has a predominantly coconut-based flavor to it? Because there are coconut-based curries, especially both. I just made it. That's why I was thinking. I just made chingri malai curry, which is a Bengali dish, which is a prawn-based Bengali dish, which has coconut in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there is that. My Mallu friend is the one who actually introduced me to it. It's an amazing chicken dish, but also has a very nice coconut broth to it.
Stew might be a chicken stew.
I don't think it was the chicken stew. I have had chicken stew as well. This was more yellow. I think chicken stew is usually whiter in color, right?
Yes, it is whiter in color. Yeah.
I think this was a yellow, so it had more haldi and stuff in it. But anyways, I wonder if there is a biryani which has a strong coconut note to it, coconut flavor to it. Is there one?
Yes, so there are some derivative biryanis in Tamil Nadu which use roasted, ground up coconut. So you roast coconut flakes until they are light brown, and then you round it and you use that as part of the masala. So there are some derivative biryanis. It's usually also mixed with some certain spices, especially dried chilies and all. So there are certain derivative biryanis, not a classical biryani. Let me just put that out there. Classical biryanis technically do not have those. This is going to be extremely geeky. Please feel free to forward by another maybe 20-30 seconds for this. So the traditional kinds of biryanis that we have are influenced by Persian influences. The Mughals obviously brought that. Courtiers of Aurangzeb and all who started the family which became the Nizam of Hyderabad and the rulers of Hyderabad, they brought in cooks from there. Same thing happened in Bengal. And those cooks then intermarried into other kingdoms in Arcot in Tamil Nadu, where the layering of the biryani, so the classical biryani that you have is layered. The Hyderabadi biryani, the Kachi biryani is layered. The Lucknowi biryanis are layered. All the Mughlai styles of biryanis are all layered biryanis. But you come down south to Tamil Nadu, you find that these biryanis are cooked more like pulavs, right? Which is why many North Indians have this thing that these are not biryanis, these are pulavs. But there's also something there. Articles and documents we have from the Chola period and even slightly earlier than that talk about unusoro, which is a dish where you have meat cooked with rice together. And it's my personal belief that it's that influence with the traditional spice-heavy Hyderabadi biryanis, which were through marriage and through alliances transported to Kingdom of Arcot in Tamil Nadu. These kind of intermingled there and then created what we now call the Tamil Nadu style of biryani, Tamil Nadu Karnataka style of biryani, which involves making it like a pulav, which is more flavorful, frankly speaking. Yeah, I don't know why I went on this tangent. You can feel free to edit this out.
No, I was just timing you, and you timed a solid 2 minutes. Yeah, not bad. You said 30 seconds, you did 2 minutes. Not bad. Okay, lovely though. Thank you for sharing that. No, because I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna experiment because I used to love having a red curry fried rice, which is a Thai red curry.
Yes.
And this particular restaurant, you should just do a fried rice version of it. So usually they serve the rice and the curry separately, and they would just cook it together. And I used to love that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this could perhaps some version of it could work with Indian curries as well. I'm going to try it out. I'll let you know how that works.
I do something similar with Maggi.
Okay.
So when you boil the Maggi, just before, I usually add 50% water and 50% coconut milk.
Interesting. Into Maggi?
Yes.
Oh, it'll give a nice, I get the broth would be nice. Yeah.
It's very creamy.
Yeah, it's a Thai broth, yeah.
Thai broth. And if you have one of those bird's eye chilies, you slit a few bird's eye chilies on top along with the taste maker.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a lovely recipe. I'm going to try to copy that.
So that's all the time I think we have for our regular round of quizzing. So let's go back to the audience question, which I asked at the beginning of today's episode. This was referred to by its creator as contrology. The method came to him when he was being held at the Nokkolo internment camp on the Isle of Man during World War I. He worked with his fellow internees to develop a system of exercises. Who and what am I talking about? This was the audience question, and let me give credit where it's due. This was sent to us by Udyon Sen, who's a very prolific contributor to the show. So, Aditya, do you have any idea who or what I am talking about?
I was first going to say CrossFit, but I know CrossFit is not, that's not the origin.
No.
I remember CrossFit has a different origin.
No.
It's some sort of an exercise thing. It is body weight exercise. Again, that seems very...
This is very popular among women more than men.
Oh, Pilates.
Yes, it is Pilates.
Nice.
The inventor was named Joseph Pilates, if you didn't know that. The inspiration to him came during his time during World War I when he was being held in the Noccolo internment camp on the Isle of Man. He spent 4 years there working on his fellow internees, developing his method of a system of exercises intended to strengthen the human mind and body, believing that mental and physical health were interrelated. So take that, everybody who calls Pilates expensive stretching. So what are your pop culture recommendations before we wind up?
So the first thing I'm going to recommend is this movie, The Assessment. I think as a movie in and of itself, not the best film I've ever watched, but a very interesting premise. I always like a good science fiction premise that makes me think. And I think that's the job of science fiction, to truly challenge your beliefs. So Assessment does do that. It has a pretty great cast. That's also a strong point. Elizabeth Olsen, always reliable. Alicia Vikander, I think that's how it's pronounced. Alicia Vikander.
Vikander.
It's such a good actor. Then there is Himesh Patel. I have loved him. I think I mentioned yesterday at some point in the past. Yesterday, the film about the Beatles.
Yes.
He's in this film as well. Great cast all over. And the premise is very interesting. The execution is perhaps where it falters a little bit. But even there, the set design, the production design, and the acting and the sound design, all of those factors are great. I think it's just the screenplay kind of didn't deliver as much. So if you're looking to watch an interesting science fiction film, I would recommend The Assessment.
Very good. I'll take a look at it as well. My recommendation for this week is a Netflix release called Baramulla. It's a supernatural horror kind of thing. Very well done. I really like the concept. I'm really surprised that this is the first time that somebody's particularly used that concept to make a movie. So I'm not going to give you anything about it. Just watch it blind. It's pretty well done. It's not horror. It's not like going to scare you at all. Frankly, it did not scare me at all. But I really liked it as a story, as a concept, as the way they executed it. The second I would recommend is a book called The Master of Disguise by Antonio J. Mendez. So if you have watched the movie Argo, Antonio Mendez's character is, he's a real life person who was played by Ben Affleck. And he was, as we can say, he was a master of disguise. So he's had a very fascinating life. So it's a very good book. Again, no spoilers, just read it. It's a fantastic read. So go for Antonio Mendez's The Master of Disguise.
Right.
And that's all the time we have for today's episode. Please feel free to reach out to us on our socials, which are here somewhere. I don't know where Aditya is going to paste this. So it's here somewhere. You can reach out to us on any of these platforms. Feel free to send us questions, but do that on our email, not anywhere else. We hope you really enjoyed the show, and please subscribe to us, share, follow, and we'll see you next week.
You just used my line, I guess. Fine. So, bye. Okay, I should stop eating. I'm going to keep making songs.